Ooh. What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to JoJo Speaks, my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for joining us for this, a review for 90 Day The Last Resort, Season 2, Episode 11. I got my main man, Dustin, back with me. How you doing, Dustin?
I'm doing better. Thank you for always being there as always, and thank you for always being there, being my best friend, and being right beside me as well. So thank you.
Of course, anytime, Dustin. Now, we start out this episode with Brandon and Julia. So the therapist is, I see Robin down in the comments. Hey,
Hey,
Robin, thank you
Robin.
so much for being here. So the therapist takes Brandon and Julia to the side, just to kind of get where they are emotionally after Julia has revealed to Brandon that she did something to the equivalent of, in his mind, cheating. Robin says
Yes.
down in the comments, are you going to review the new season of 90 Day Fiance? Shakina and Sarper are on it. I do need to look into
Yes.
that season of
I
90 Day
am gonna
Fiance,
cover it.
Robin.
I am gonna cover it, but I'm gonna wait till after the season's over with.
Yeah,
uh,
but I definitely do want to review that season of 90 Day Fiance, Robin, because I
yes.
love to see me some Sarper.
Yes.
So yes, I will start watching it and kind of get an idea of how we can fit that in, because I do
Yeah.
want to talk about that particular show. But once
And
once
that's
again, the therapist is
yes.
talking to Avery and Julia. And she asked Brandon, I'm sorry, I said Avery and Julia, Brandon and Julia. And
hmm
Brandon is doing okay with his emotions. He spent the night in the tent alone. I'm not exactly
Yes.
sure where Julia was laying her head, but they spent the night alone, which is understandable. Once again, I don't know if Brandon has ever gone through this before. It seems like this might be the first time that he's ever had to deal
Mm-hmm.
with infidelity in his relationship. And then on top of the fact that he is really, really interested in having children, and the fact that Julia has no interest in having any children whatsoever. And so I think that is an issue that they're going to have to get through,
Yes.
at least after they get through this whole cheating scandal. Hey,
Uh,
Lady
hey,
Virgo is down there
Labor.
in the comments. Thank you so much for being with us on tonight, Lady Virgo. Love you for being here.
Yeah.
um so what did you think of the fact that Brandon said, he will be able to get past it. He does want to work through it. It's just going to take him some time to kind of process this going on. What did you think of that session with the therapist as things were going on in the background?
Well, I know how it feels right now because I am going through my own situation. So I know how that feels. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It takes time to heal. Uh, and like I always say, Jonathan, it helps me heal when I'm right beside the person that it helps me the most. So thank you very much. And I'm in that situation right now, so I know how it feels very much. And I've it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to say that, but I will say that right now. It takes a lot of time. It takes time for that to heal, and it takes time for everybody to heal. So I'm in that situation, so I know how that feels. So I can sympathize with Brandon on that one.
Right. Yeah. There is a saying, time heals all wounds. I'm not exactly sure how true that is, because I don't know if all wounds can completely heal.
No, they cannot
Um,
be. No,
however, I
no,
think
they
it,
can't.
it is it is a great sentiment. And so while that is going on with that session with Brandon and Julia, with
All
the
right.
with the therapist, we then have Jasmine, who is once again checking up on Sophie. This is where we left off on episode 10, where
Yes.
Sophie has seen evidence of Rob talking to other women on, excuse me, on social media and dating sites. And literally, while they are at the resort, he is in communication with other women. And Jasmine suggested to Sophie that she confront him in front
Mm.
of everyone about these issues. And here's my thing with Jasmine. I don't know if she's trying to stir the pot. I don't know if Jasmine wants to see more drama for the show. I know that Jasmine does care for Sophie. I do think that Jasmine genuinely does care for Sophie. I will say
I
that.
think. I think.
However,
I
I
think
think
Jasmine.
Jasmine also understands that she's on a TV show and
Right.
we need drama for the TV show. So I
Right.
think this was this I would think it really shows who Jasmine is, and I love Jasmine's personality. What did you think of Jasmine suggesting to Sophie that she confront Rob in front of everyone concerning what she's found out about what he's been doing?
I did not like that, and here's the reason why. That puts her in a bad situation. I I don't think she would be. I don't think. I don't think that was easy for her to be put that way in that situation.
Mm-mm.
Uh, I don't like that. I would never want nobody to put me in the middle of a situation where I wouldn't want to be put either. And for her to be put in the middle of some situation, currently what I'm going through currently right now. So it really hits me hard to see somebody else be put in the middle of that because I would not want to be put in the middle of a situation that I'm already currently going through. So I just feel so bad for these people on this episode because I can I can assimilate a lot what these people are going through right now because I just feel like a certain level. So I just feel like the Jasmine should not have stepped in like that in the middle of that situation there, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think Jasmine had the best of intentions because I think she cares for Sophie. However, I personally don't think that that would have been the best outcome for the two.
I don't think that was the best thing for Jasmine. I'm glad that Jasmine's supporting her. Don't get me wrong. I'm so glad she's supporting the people. But I just don't think that was the best thing for Jasmine to put herself in the middle of that.
I do believe I mentioned in our previous review that I hope that Sophie confronts Rob in private with this newfound information that she has seen. However, clearly Jasmine has facilitated this whole thing because I don't believe that Sophie would have done this on her own if she had not been encouraged by Jasmine to confront Rob in front of everyone. And so Sophie comes over to the fireplace. Rob is making some bacon and some breakfast on the campfire, which I think is a great thing for Rob to do for everyone. And Sophie, I'm so glad that Jasmine didn't try to set it up. I'm so glad that Jasmine left herself out of it once she got over with everyone at the fireplace, around the campfire. I'm glad that Jasmine didn't indicate the fact that she encouraged Sophie to do what she did. But Sophie
Uh,
then confronts Rob in front of everybody, and says that, you know, we come to this resort and we're trying to work on our issues, and you're constantly and continuously having conversations with other women. She did say that he was trying to have sex with other women. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe the messages indicated that he wanted some type of sexual relation with these women. I don't know, but I can only
uh,
assume, since she said that he's been trying to have relations with these other women, that that must be what those messages have relayed to her. But
uh,
Rob, of course, denies it. He says that, you know, he actually says that Sophie told him that he could actually act as if he was single after they were married. Now, this is after they were married.
and
Sophie
I
sent
don't
him a text message
and
saying that if you
I
want
don't like
to act
that.
like you're single,
Uh-uh,
then you can
uh-uh,
do that. And as someone who has issues with infidelity in their relationship, that's probably the last thing that you need to be suggesting to your partner, that they can go
uh-uh,
and see other people, because that's essentially what she said in the text message, that he can go see
uh,
other people and act as if he is single. And you know, Rob is saying, well, you know, and that's what I was doing. And Rob is, of course, extremely upset about this. And I hate seeing Rob upset because a lot of times, although I don't think Rob is doing his best, I think he tries to portray
uh-uh,
as though he is trying his best. And so when that is undermined, when that is discounted, when people aren't seeing that, and he gets upset about it, it kind of touches me because
uh-uh,
I see myself as someone who tries my best, but I do know that I can do better. And I think Rob is in that same situation. I think Rob thinks he's doing the best that he can, but I think he really needs maybe some therapy, and understanding how he can move forward and maybe up his game when it comes to his relationship with Sophie, because
uh-uh,
obviously they are still having issues. And you know, I started this series, and you know, it seems like it started out, well, for me, it started out with Rob and Sophie. You know, he was putting some lotion on her legs and things of that nature, and it seemed
right.
like they were in a good place. And that's the only way that I want to see Rob and Sophie is in a good place. But clearly that is not going to be the case in
Uh-uh.
this particular series. What was your reaction to Rob's reaction to being confronted with this information from Sophie?
Well, Rob doesn't. I wasn't very surprised with the reaction. I expected it. I expected that kind of reaction from Rob because Rob is that kind of person that would give me that feeling that I got yesterday when I was watching the episode. I got the feeling to where Rob does not process things the way he needs to
Right.
process things, and it's difficult for me to say that because he needs to process it better than he did. Um, it really, it really almost, it really frustrated me because I didn't think he would act like that on
Mhm.
reality TV. But to see
Mm.
him on that side of the coin, on that side of the on the bad side of him that I don't want to see again. To be honest with you, I don't want to see him again at all after the season two with. Um, I really don't because I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his bad side. You know, I'm honest about what I'm going through. So you should be honest with your own wife. You are married to her. So if you can't be honest with your own wife and you're married to somebody, then you need to get out and get away from my TV because I don't want to see you back again next season. No thanks. No thank you,
Yeah,
baby.
Dusty, I would love to see Rob on another season. I mean, it is what it
I
is.
know.
Rob is
I know. I don't.
my one of my favorite people to see on these shows. However, I don't think that he's necessarily good for TV because I think
Mm-mm.
TV really reveals who Rob is at the core, and I don't know if that's how he wants to present to the general public. But of course,
Well,
the reason why I want to see.
maybe I'll say I want to see Rob with somebody else. I could see Rob with somebody else, but not with Sophia. Um, but I think if Rob finds somebody else and he gets the help that he needs and he heals what he needs to heal, maybe that's a different story. But I don't want to see Rob with Sophia because I think Sophia is at her breaking point right now. I really
Well,
do. I think.
Sophie comes across to me as someone who's damaged and has a lot of issues that she needs to work on her own before she actually gets into a relationship with someone else. Because she tends, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion, she tends to project her issues towards Rob, and so therefore
Right.
everything that Rob does that is in her mind a bad thing, it is amplified because she feels like she's being hurt again,
Mm,
whereas, maybe she's had some issues or trauma in her past that she really hasn't gotten over. And so
right.
when she gets into a relationship with someone who does not seem to care for her, although I do feel like Rob does love her, I don't know whether he actually cares for Sophie, like genuinely cares for her,
Mm,
because I don't think that
mm.
he takes her feelings into consideration necessarily. However, and I don't know if he has that ability,
He
and
don't.
that and
I
that's
can.
sad to say for me because I love watching Rob and I want the best for Rob. But
I want the best
sometimes
for him.
people,
I want the best for all the couples on here, Jonathan. But
right.
I can see through it. You know, I can see through Rob that it's not going to be the best outcome. I can feel that the best outcome for them two is to break it off at the end of the season, and at the end of the season they can leave apart because
I
that
would
that.
have
Mhm.
go ahead, Dustin.
They can leave apart at the end of the season because I don't say it's not going to be. No, it's not. It's just going to be a big. It's going to be a big mess if they continue on the way they continue on. So I feel like it would be the best thing for them to leave at the end of the season apart.
I would have to agree with that, Dustin. I want the best for Rob and Sophie. I know I'm talking about Rob a lot, but he's the eye candy here. But
Yeah.
I want the best for both of
You
them. I
supposed to
want
like candy,
both of them
Jonathan.
to.
You want
I
to
want
like it.
both of them to be happy, and I feel as though the best way for both of them to be happy. Rob said earlier in the season that he was going to move back to California, so I think the best thing for both of them is just to separate and find people who better fit their current situation, not where they want to be in the future. Because I think both Rob and Sophie have a lot of personal work to do on their own before they need to find themselves in another
I am a firm
relationship.
believer. Wait a minute. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, Jonathan. So, uh, I think that they needed to be on this show for the therapy part, but I think that they are realizing that they're not good together, and I hope it's truly that this is the final thing that Sophia needs to see, because I don't think I need to see her on next season of The Last Resort. I
I
really
would have
don't.
hoped that Sophie would have picked up on the fact that they're not a good couple by now. I would have at least hoped that she would have seen that. But I think Sophie is holding on to Rob because of the dream that he sold her when they first got together, and she's still hanging on to that, and she thinks that maybe he can get there eventually. But Rob has a lot of things to do, and at the end of the day, I don't think Sophie can be with Rob the way he is now. I don't think that
Uh,
Sophie can be with Rob the way that he is now, because he clearly
no.
sees no issue with speaking with other women. And as I've said in previous reviews, I feel as though Rob is entertaining other women because Sophie is on his ass all the time about the continuously on Rob's ass about the things that he's doing against her that make her feel less than. And I don't know if Sophie will ever be happy with Rob. I don't think Rob makes Sophie happy, and so it's best that they just separate. But
That's the
Rob brings up the
it's
text message,
right.
shows some of the guys the text messages, this text message that Sophie sent to him, telling him that he can, act as if he's single and see other women. So in the midst of this,
Right.
the therapist sees that something is going on. And while that is going on, Josh and Natalie are going back and forth. And they're going back and forth because Natalie feels as though Josh is body shaming her because Josh says while he's sleeping, he does not want to be touched. He doesn't want to, he can sleep next to her, but he doesn't want her all over him. He doesn't want to be touched. And he's saying all of this while he has a scarf around his neck. Like Josh is just here for the clickbait. Josh is
I don't
just
like.
here to
I'm
be
just
on TV. He's not here to fix anything at all. And I don't think he
I
cares about Natalie either.
I don't like Josh. Josh puts me in the mind of somebody that I don't want to be. I would never want to be with somebody like Josh. I don't like Josh. Period. Natalie, I can do without Natalie. I don't. No thanks. Um, I don't think she's not my cup of tea, Jonathan. Neither one of them are my cup of tea.
Josh comes off to me as extremely self-absorbed. He clearly loves himself, and it's best that we all love ourselves. However, Josh loves himself to another degree. Whereas though he thinks he's God's gift to women, he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. It's like Josh, like none of us should be thinking of ourselves that highly. And it's almost bordering on having a God complex, at least in my opinion. But Josh, Florian, who's showing a nicer and more gentle side of himself in the most recent episodes, takes Natalie to the side and says, Josh didn't mean it like that. He didn't mean that he's body shaming you. And I don't necessarily understand why Natalie took what Josh said, him saying that he doesn't want to be touched, while he's sleeping. I don't know why why she associated that with him body shaming her. That kind of confused me a little bit, but Florian was like, you got to hear Josh out. All you heard was he doesn't want to be touched by you, which is, I think, is a very interesting thing to say when you're in a relationship with someone, that you
Right.
don't want to be touched while you're sleeping. Like I get that some people are like that. You know what I'm saying? Give me my space. I enjoy my queen size bed by myself, so I don't know exactly how I will be. I love to cuddle. Like I love
Yes,
to,
I do,
have
Jonathan.
either my arms wrapped around, someone that I love, or someone that I love having their arms wrapped around me. Like I love that, but I guess that's not how everyone is. But did he just make this decision, or did he just bring this to Natalie's attention just now that he does not want to be touched while he's sleeping? Like,
uh,
it's a little confusing to me. But Florian brings Natalie back over to Josh. Josh is talking to some of the other couples, and Josh actually apologizes for the way that Natalie took what he said, because there's no way that Josh was body shaming Natalie. Like if he wanted to body shame her, with Josh being an American, he knows what words to use to body shame Natalie. So I don't think that's what Josh meant, and I'm glad that he was able to at least apologize to Natalie for her taking it the way that she did. Do you think that Josh's apology to Natalie was sincere, given
no, I
what he
don't.
said?
No, I don't.
And why do
I,
you say that?
I don't feel like that he means what he said. Um, I just don't feel like that. I don't feel like either one of them are. either one of them are happy. And like I said, they're not happy. I don't feel like they're happy. And I don't feel like they're. I don't think they can heal. I don't think that they can heal them. You know. No, I don't think this relationship's gonna heal. No.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, Josh and Natalie, they don't strike me as a couple that will stay together. I hope that Natalie goes her separate ways. I don't know what's keeping Natalie, excuse me, hanging on to Josh the way that she is. Um, I don't know if she's depending on him for anything. I don't know if she's just with him because he's a good looking man. That's definitely the reason why I think Sophie is in a relationship with Rob. Who could
Yeah.
blame her for that? But that's not necessarily the smartest idea when it comes to actually being in a relationship with someone. But
No.
I don't think Josh really cares for Natalie or loves her for that matter. He doesn't care about her. He rolls up in his Ferrari 2 or 3 episodes ago, coming up late to the getting to the camping trip. It's like Josh is just here for himself. He's self-indulging in himself this entire time, and it's just annoying to me to see someone that full of themselves is just
Mm-hmm.
icky to me, and I don't like that whatsoever. But anyway, so the therapist says, you know what? We need to come together and we need to decompress. We need to do some exercises that allows us
Mm-hmm.
to release so that we do not have all of this drama and all of this turmoil amongst us. And so she gets everyone in front of the tents and, they're going to do some, one, I think, I'm not sure which one of the men said it, but one of them said it looked like they were doing taekwondo. She had them in this stance and they were doing the hi-ya, hi-ya. They weren't kicking, but they were moving their arms. And then at the
Mm-hmm.
end of it, they all scream. But before they get to the end of it, Ari decides that it's her time to walk off because she feels as though there's not enough attention on Benny and his and the cheating allegations that
Mm-hmm.
she's throwing up against him. And so she
Yeah,
feels like
really. That.
there's not enough attention on her situation. So she's going to walk off so that when I come back, the therapist is going to ask me what's wrong with me. So I can tell her, well, y'all are talking about Rob and Sophie's issues, and y'all are talking about Natalie and Josh's issues. What about our issues? I see Joseph down in the comments. What's
Hi,
going on,
Joseph.
Joseph? Thank you so much for being here. Why are you not focusing on what we're doing? Joseph says, hey everyone, like and share. Thank you so much for that, Joseph, letting everyone know to like and share. I appreciate that, Joseph. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so annoying to me. And of course, Benny. I'm so glad that Benny didn't go running up behind her. I'm so glad that he didn't do that because I think he knows how Ari how Ari processes things and how she presents to people and how she wants the attention on her. Because to be honest, this entire time, I really haven't been paying that much attention to Ari, to be truthfully honest,
Neither have
because
I,
Ari
Jonathan.
has come to this resort with a mission, and her mission is to make Benny look as bad
Bad.
as possible. And she wants to be the victim. And so that's what victims do. They run off while everyone is in the space, while everyone is together. Ari has to run off so that when she comes back, all of the attention is on her. Ari knew that therapist was going to ask her if she was okay, which gave her the floor to then say, well, you guys are focusing on Rob and Sophie's infertility issues, and you're focusing on Josh and Natalie having conversations about the fact that Josh doesn't want to be touched while he's sleeping. Why aren't you guys noticing the fact that Benny is over here cheating on me? And it's like,
Mm.
Ari, we don't care. And to be honest, I'm starting not to believe that Benny cheated on her. And if he
I don't
did,
think she did either. I don't think he did either. I do
I,
apologize.
I really don't believe it because I feel like we are 11 episodes in and we have yet to see this so-called evidence that you have on Benny, so-called cheating on you. So I'm not
And
here
we
for
don't
Ari. Go ahead, Dustin.
we don't have very many episodes left because I don't think they don't do a tell all for this kind of they don't have a tell all for this show, so we don't have as many episodes left as we do with the regular show. But they don't do it
Right.
kind of.
Right. I think on the last episode, they just decide whether they're going to stay together or just move on. But
Yeah.
thankfully, the therapist does not indulge with that conversation with Ari, and she
Right.
says, let's just finish this exercise so we can get up on out of here. So they all leave the camp. We see Rob going into the bedroom with Sophie. Sophie walks out of the bedroom as Rob is walking in. They're not talking whatsoever,
Mm-hmm.
and I really don't want to see where this is going to go with Rob and Sophie, because I feel like if they get to a point to where they're in each other's good graces again, I know it's just going to turn bad right after once again, because Sophie seems to always find a way to make Rob look as though he's not doing her right. And again, if Rob is doing these things, bring it out. But again, Sophie, if you see that Rob is not changing, and you see Rob understands how it makes you feel when he is talking to other women, why are you still with him? I don't get why she's still with him. And I do want to bring up another scene when Sophie goes into the bathroom and she's crying and she's talking to her mother. Jasmine comes into the bathroom, and Jasmine asks Sophie, can I talk to your mother? And Sophie and Jasmine tells Sophie's mother, I'm going to take care of her. She hasn't eaten yet, so I'm going to get her some food in her stomach. And once again, I love Jasmine being on this show. Jasmine is such a breath of fresh air to all this drama, even though sometimes she can bring the drama to the show. I love that she has a heart for people, and I feel like I'm the same way, that I have a heart for people. And so I love that Jasmine takes the time out to check on Sophie and make sure that Sophie is okay. But yes, and so the couples get back to the resort, and then we see Jasmine sitting down with Gino, and I'm thinking this is going to be a good conversation with them, but Jasmine brings up the fact that, well, during our hypnotizing exercise, I don't feel like the event that you brought up during the exercise of you telling me to go back to Panama is the real thing that came to your mind while we were in the under the hypnosis. So what is it? What is it? Jasmine asked him straight up. And I love the fact that Jasmine never beats around the bush. Jasmine wants to get to the issue and face it head on. And I feel like I need to do a better job at doing that, because I tend to avoid certain things that I'm uncomfortable with. But Jasmine, I don't think Jasmine gets uncomfortable in any situation whatsoever. And if she does, like, when she was in that pageant, she did seem a little bit like out of sorts in that pageant era. But either way, Jasmine doesn't show it on her face whatsoever, and I love that. But Gino starts to get a little bit emotional, and we get the lead up to the
Next
end of the
week's
episode.
Yeah.
So Justin, do you have an idea of what this might be? And if so, what do you think it might be that Gino is about to tell Jasmine?
I have no clue what it is, Jonathan.
I don't either.
I'm not gonna say I do, because I don't have no clue. But we'll wait to see what next week brings. I don't have a clue what next week's gonna bring.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea either. I think the producers want us to believe that it has to do with infidelity, but I'm going to put it out there now. I have a feeling that it's not infidelity, because I personally don't see Gino actually cheating on Jasmine, because Jasmine is such a beautiful woman. Although she does kind of she does get on his nerves, and he does seem a little bit uncomfortable with her from time to time. But I have a feeling that it's something much deeper than infidelity, and I hope that it does not break Jasmine's heart, because I hate seeing Jasmine upset. I really do hate seeing Jasmine upset. But
do you have any clue what you think it's gonna be?
No, I don't know. I have a feeling it maybe has something to do with his family, maybe possibly something to do with her family, maybe something to do with the fact that he hasn't gotten the visa started for her kids to come over to America. I have a feeling it might have something to do with that, but I have no idea. But we will see next week. I want to thank you, every single one of you guys, all of you viewers, for coming out here. Thank you, Lady Virgo, Robin, and Joseph, for commenting while we were on live. Dustin, why don't you go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts is Dustin Butler 700. That's my Instagram, and my Facebook is Dustin Butler. And I want to thank Jonathan as always for being there and everything. And thank you for my whole entire team. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I want you guys to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Make sure you click the thumbs up button. Let us know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my YouTube channel, JoJo Speaks. Be sure to leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the most recent episode 11 of 90 Day Fiancé The Last Resort Season 2. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody out here know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Jennifer, I'm about to get my social media contacts. So yeah, don't worry. I'm getting to it, girl. But thank you for putting it up, Jennifer. So follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. Thank y'all once again for joining us for this review. Join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Stay warm out there because I know it's going to get cold this week. It's going to be some snow.
It's supposed to be like 19 degrees, like 20. So
yeah, so
20 below.
Make sure y'all stay bundled up though. But I love you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on Thursday for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. Love you guys. Have a good day.
Love y'all.
Bye, y'all.